I know a lot of girls don't like the word controlling,
Yeah.
right? But I think the word controlling, because part of what we do as men, especially if the man wants to accept the full responsibility of leading a relationship and taking the accountability that I'm going to be responsible for this family, he needs some type of control or authority in a relationship. Because if he is a leader, right, then he needs some type of authority and control in the family to be able to provide and protect that family. A perfect example would be that comes to my mind. If I'm responsible for the safety
Mhm.
of my woman and my children, right?
Mhm.
I have to be aware of where you go. I have to be aware of the type of people that you hang around with. I have to be aware of the type of places you go. So I have to exert some kind of boundary or control. Hey, where are you going? Who are you talking to? All right. Now, a lot of women, especially today, when they hear that, oh, you're trying to control my life, but that's my responsibility. You asked me to be a strong leader. You asked me, hey, I want a man who protects me physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially. So if part of my responsibility is to make sure that I have your best interest at heart, especially your well-being, then it is part of my also responsibility to ask to be aware of, hey, who are you talking to? All right.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's there's good ways to do about it. Like
Yeah.
if I see you talking to somebody I don't like, then we can have a conversation privately.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go there just snatch you and pull you by your hair, and that's
Yeah.
toxic right there. That's
Yeah.
kind of abusive, right?
Mhm.
But I will have that conversation. Who is that person?
Yeah.
I remember I had a relationship podcast before with a previous man that was in a long-term relationship. He said that one of his boundaries for his wife that she had to be with a good circle of friends who were in healthy relationships and long-term relationships. She did not want she did not want her to be friends with, I'm sorry I have to say this, hoes,
Yeah.
right? Women who are constantly abusive and toxic
Real porn.
relationships,
Mm-hmm.
giving her bad advice, right? So he told her, look, if you of all your friend circle are just women who are very promiscuous, always bouncing around from man to man, have a very negative perception towards men, hate men, and spit out that rhetoric. I don't need a man. All men are trash. All men ain't shit. That's not the type of friends I want you to be with. I want you to be with friends with women with long, healthy relationships. They love children. They love families. Obviously, we're trying to build our own family. We need to be friends with certain women to have your best interests and the same values that we're trying to build. But if all your main friends are friends that can be opposite of what we're trying to do here, for him, that's a concern to me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
my job is to protect this relationship, and if you have to make the choice, I don't want you to be around that girl or that woman. So I need you to kind of step away and distance yourself. So that's an example of me as a man exerting my authority and control. Look, and for a lot of women, that could be very controlling. He's trying to tell me what to do, what type of friends,
Yeah.
but they also forget that this is the role you want me to play. This is the responsibility you're giving me. And if you're giving me that responsibility as a man, I have to do my job as a man. And part of my job is to protect you, not only in the relationship, but protect our relationship from the wrong people.
Mhm.
And and I have to exert my authority and control on that specific example. So I know that a lot of women out here watching this right now, they don't like the word control, but that is part of the job for us is to exert control and to step in and tell you, like you just said, I want a man that tells me what to do and to kind of lead me. So a good man will look at a certain behavior that he knows that is a risk to relationship, and he's going to tell you, I don't like that behavior, and we need to figure this out because I don't want you to do this.
Or to
Okay?
ourselves,
Or
to
to
the
ourselves, or to
relationship,
the
or to
relationship.
ourselves, or to
And a
Yeah.
lot of
to
women, oh,
ourselves.
that's control. A lot of women today will hear that
Mhm.
he's controlling. He's not telling me who to be friends with. It's not controlling because that is a role I've decided to play and you've given me. I'm trying to protect the relationship, and a lot of women don't know the difference. What are you guys'
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's like I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I think it's about how it's done.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it in a way you're like you're yelling at me or you're like putting me
No, of course.
down or like stuff
Yeah.
like that, which I think does happen a lot. Like it's just natural when you're upset, you're gonna say things like maybe you don't mean.
Mhm.
So if you're doing that, then I'm gonna say like, oh, you're being controlling, you know. But
Yeah.
if you're like having a conversation with me, being open and then like
Yeah.
going back and forth, then I don't see that as
Communicating,
controlling. Yeah,
communicating in a
because
good way.
maybe everybody has different boundaries. Maybe what's right for you, for me, it isn't. But
Yeah.
if we talk it out, maybe we can come to um, like a middle
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe I can tell you like how I feel about it. We can just compromise. But I think it's about how it's done because like as a woman, I just want to be like feel respected,
Yeah.
like overall. Yeah.
But is that a reasonable example for me to step in and control that aspect of relationship? Because I mean, don't you? I mean, I've seen it with a lot of
Yeah.
I've seen it with women who are in a relationship and all their girlfriends are single and they convince her to get out of her
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
It depends. It depends on if that woman is easily manipulated or I don't know, like monkey see, monkey do type child
Yeah,
mind. Um, then yes, if you see that she is easily persuaded, then you would say, "Hey, I don't think you should hang out with them," and tell her why
yeah,
she
Mm.
shouldn't, and then explain, for her sake and for the relationship's sake. And then you have some women who are strong-minded and understand their friends are who they are, but everything that they do or say is not going to affect how I think about my relationship or what, is going on in the relationship or about myself, because that has everything to do with them and not me. So, yes, like I feel like he should, if, like I said, if
Yeah.
she can't think for herself and is just very easily persuaded. But then at the same time, if she's very easily persuaded, what happens when you're not there? Can
Yeah.
she think for herself? So is that a good woman to be with if you have to tell her that? So
Too much. If you have
yeah,
to do too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
So